Mr. Secretary General, welcome to Kazakhstan. Thank you for joining us here with Kazinform News Agency. And I would like to start with my first question. In your opinion, what role does Kazakhstan play in the OPEC Plus and in the global oil market?
Well, first of all, thank you for taking the time to do this interview with me. Yes. It's a great pleasure to me back in Kazakhstan. It's not my first time.
Yes.
And although it's my first time to speak at the Kazakhstan Energy Week, so I'm really happy to be invited to have the stage today with His Excellency the Prime Minister and His Excellency the Minister of Energy. Of course, to your question, Kazakhstan is a prominent energy player globally. And over the years, Kazakhstan's production levels, its endowment with its natural resources, and not only oil and gas, but also other minerals, uranium, and all other sources. Also, its geological formations and the geographical location, which is allowing it to be a center of providing energy not only to Europe, but also to Asia and Central Asia. This is very important and enables the country to fulfill a very important role in becoming a global energy supplier. For us in OPEC Plus, we are very proud that Kazakhstan is one of the founder members with us since almost 10 years ago when we initiated the OPEC Plus, what's called the Declaration of Cooperation. Kazakhstan was one of the 10 non-OPEC producers that joined in signing this agreement, and we are very happy with the proactive role that Kazakhstan plays, also being a member of the Joint Ministerial Monitoring Committee. So we are very happy with this relationship. Kazakhstan is an important global player. It has around 30 billion barrels of proven oil reserves, which is almost 2% of the global reserves. So I think Kazakhstan is well positioned also for the future to continue to play this important role in becoming an energy supplier for the world.
And how can Kazakhstan show itself as a reliable gas and oil exporter today?
Well, I think it is not a question of how. I think it is already. It is a reliable oil and gas supplier. As I said, the geographical location of Kazakhstan being in Central Asia means that it is a hub for Asia, for Central Asia as well, and for Europe. And with the stability in the government, under the wise leadership of His Excellency President Tokayev, and its ability to attract foreign investors into the country to continue working with the local companies. These are all good recipes and good formulas for successful ability to be a successful supplier of energy for the future, not only oil and gas, as I said, also its investments in terms of uranium, atomic energy, in terms of also renewable energies, where Kazakhstan, because of its geology and its natural topography, is able to attract wind energy investments and all of the other investments. And we believe in OPEC, and I think Kazakhstan government shares the same views that the future of energy is about investing in all energies. The world needs much more energy. Kazakhstan is a growing nation, rising population, growing economy, and therefore this means that we will need to invest in all forms of energy, as Kazakhstan is doing.
With oil market volatility, what will OPEC do to balance supply and demand in 2025 and 2026?
Well, OPEC and OPEC Plus, of course, have been very active, as I said, since 2016 in preserving oil market stability. I think we have demonstrated time and time, most recently in 2020 when the COVID pandemic happened and there was the devastation that happened in global oil demand, how OPEC Plus reacted with significant production adjustments that enabled the market to restore its stability very quickly. And of course, this had a very positive impact also on the global economy. Going forward, we will continue to use the same approach, the same principles of trying to preserve the stability between supply and demand and that market balance, which is absolutely essential, not just for 2025. People think that our decisions are centered only for the short term, but we have always the longer term in our projections and our views, and we try to create a stability which enables a platform, it creates a platform that enables a possibility for investments. And a critical factor I spoke about today, and we repeatedly at OPEC talk about, is the importance of investments in the oil industry. And although we have seen in previous years, many people calling to stop investing in new oil and new gas production. We believe this is totally wrong, and it's dangerous actually, and endangers energy security. For economic growth and prosperity of Kazakhstan and the world, we will need much more investment. We will need investment to keep the production levels that the world has today at the stable levels, but also to cater for the future demand. In OPEC, our projections are that the global oil demand will reach 123 million barrels a day by 2050. 2050 is not far away, actually, if you look at it, because the oil and gas industry, when you decide to invest, you need a few years, several years from the time you invest until the time you actually get the production. And we have natural decline, depletion rates of 5-6% per year. So it means that we have to invest today, not only for keeping the production at today's levels, but also to be prepared for the future.
Okay. And in your opinion, is OPEC open to adding new members, including countries from Central Asia or the Caspian region?
Well, OPEC is very open. We have an open door policy. We have a clear mandate in our statute, a regulation to welcome new members that are substantial net exporters of oil and share the same objectives and values as the members. And there's an exact methodology of how new members can become members. Of course, we welcome, whether it's Central Asia or not, any part of the world, countries with a similar ideals and objectives as OPEC. OPEC has an open door always, and we welcome not only producers, but also we have dialogue with many consumers around the world, India, China, the European Union. So OPEC is very open to discuss everything and anything, actually.
What should developing countries like Kazakhstan do for a fair and realistic energy transition?
That's a great question, and I think people use the terms fair and realistic energy transition, and they use the term energy transition. But in reality, we should ask ourselves a question. When we talk about the world talking about energy transition, what does the transition really mean? For some people, unfortunately, in the past years, they were talking about energy transition, meaning that we have to abandon oil and gas.
Yes.
But when we look at history, energy history, actually, transition has been about adding sources of energy, not subtracting or taking away. So let me ask you a question. For example, does the world still use wood for energy? Yes. Did the world abandon coal? No. Coal continues to rise. Consumption continues to rise year on year. And so does oil, and so does gas. And in the future, we will have renewables also rising, although it's from a small starting point. So every country should have its own pathway. Kazakhstan has its own pathway for energy transition. My country, Kuwait, and every country around the world. And this is why it's important to, when we talk about just and fair energy transitions, is that we should focus on the core principles in the UNFCCC, which is the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities. This is something that OPEC strongly advocates for. We keep insisting on this point in climate negotiations, climate discussions. And we believe, like I said in my speech today, that we should not discriminate against any source of energy. The issue about climate change is another issue. It's not about climate change, and emissions reductions are not necessarily to be in contradiction with energy growth and energy availability and supply for the whole world. We should deal with emissions reductions in a separate manner.
In your opinion, how do you view President Tokayev's policy in the global oil market and in OPEC Plus, and how his domestic reforms for economy, politics, and stability affect this?
Well, first of all, let me say that I had the honor and privilege to have an audience today with His Excellency President Tokayev for the first time. Of course, His Excellency President Tokayev is well known on the global stage as a global leader with experience, wisdom, and that experience and wisdom has filtered into how Kazakhstan has evolved and developed into one of the leading energy suppliers around the world. I heard today from the President his support for what OPEC does in terms of providing stability to the global market, and this is very encouraging, and he really welcomed my visit as a good step in order to view how we can continue to increase the dialogue and cooperation between Kazakhstan and OPEC, inshallah.
Right, inshallah, yes. And would you like to add something that we maybe didn't cover?
Well, first of all, to conclude, sorry, not first of all.
Yes, yes.
Again, I want to thank you, Kazinform, and taking this time. It's really an honor and privilege. This is my first interview with you,
Yes,
and I hope it
same
would
here.
not be the last.
Yes,
Thank
hopefully.
you and your crew for coming here. We look forward also to collaborating with you on the media front between
Yes.
OPEC and Kazinform. As I said, Kazakhstan is one of the vital members of the OPEC Plus cooperation, and therefore we need to cooperate also with you on the media front with the
Yes,
OPEC
yes.
media teams.
Yes.
And thank you again, and I look forward to coming back to this beautiful
Yes.
country.
Thank you very much, and we wish you the best luck in your future achievements.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.